racism, the way that we practice and wield white supremacy. We do it through classism.
Put my makeup on. Um, Please do go back and watch this entire video, because yeah, there's so much there. Um, One of the things I think about when it comes to any kind of like gatekeeping when it comes to blackness, or kind of like judging each other when it comes to blackness, is I'm constantly reminded that blackness is that most of us are really insecure in our blackness. That is a hot, it it is diasporically, it is family, it is connection, but also dysfunctional in various ways, like most families. And there's always this fear. Like, I do not ever worry about being thrown away by white people. I expect that. I know that's going to happen. But until my palms don't sweat and I don't get all stressy and I don't worry about how I come off and blah, 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 blah. I don't get scared with trying to, like, co- you know, pave over or deal with the difficulty with white people. I just never do. But with black people, terrified. Terrified sometimes. Always, I don't want my folks to think poorly of me. And in order for me not to have my folks think poorly of me, I have to know who my folks are. And we are always trying to figure that out within ourselves and in looking at each other. And I see elitism as another way of doing that, another way of saying, and it is definitely white supremacy culture that we practice when we put this on each other. Um, and it is something that I had to, my thing for a long time was that I struggled with. And I don't think I struggle with it anymore, but it's been a while since it's been really tested. Was I'm so used to being the only black person in a group. When another black person comes along, I'm afraid of being judged either positively or negatively next to them. Also, the awareness that whiteness in white spaces, they only have room for like a couple. They can only wrap their heads around having a couple of us around at a time. And that feeling like I'm going to lose my spot as well was something I used to struggle with. So that's how the elitism sort of takes place in me and my insecurity and my blackness that's one of the ways it shows up. Um, I see it happening when people question how you speak. Are you trying to be white? Trying to talk white? Yeah, yeah, whatever. I see that also as another form of insecurity of blackness. I also see like the need to constantly declare your education as another symptom of insecurity in blackness. The need to make sure that everybody knows that you're not from the hood is another way of demonstrating the insecurity of blackness, because you're trying to say, look, I'm not, every black person isn't the same. Not every black person comes from these beginnings, blah 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 blah. So I saw a YouTube video a while ago which talked about the YouTubers that black people tended to, how black YouTubers get their come up versus white YouTubers. That more often white YouTubers get their come up from their dingy little room and they go on the journey of elevation with their fans, whereas more it's more often that black people have struggled with supporting black people who look poor, because it's like, look, it's like holding up a mirror. All of us are connected. We are all like a generation away from, or connected by marriage, or connected through family. In some way, we are connected to poverty. All of us. You know, it's we, and some of us are able to make peace with that and just be like, folks is folks. But some of us are afraid of being judged by the quality of our connections. And so we put on airs and graces so that nobody can imagine that we are like that. And that used to be a thing for me. You know, I used to, when you live in a place where people are very racist, and they have very racist ideals, you can swing too far trying to combat their stereotypical images that they want to put on you. And I definitely did when I was younger, and I had to learn. You know? I just had to learn better. And that wasn't really something, I think that's something my dad helped me with more than my mom. Because I think for my mom, she didn't sling her education around, but she was very invested in the way things looked. And my dad was much more folks is folks. And yeah. But also, while he was trying to price me out of the range of riffraff, as he called it, you know, messages got a little tangled sometimes. Oh my goodness. But yeah, this whole, like, wanting to say, I'm not like her, who's from the hood, knowing some of the best of our genius comes from the hood, knowing that is something that some people struggle with. I know how to speak proper English, which is a dead language and nobody speaks it, by the way. And I am well educated. And don't talk to me like I'm not well educated. Don't treat me like you would a quote ordinary black person, or what you imagine in your mind to be an ordinary black person. And I understand wanting to get out from under things that are not you. Like, there's this lady that I worked for. She used to, I lived in a particular town. And she used to keep saying that every time we talked, she'd say, oh yeah, I know you want to get back to, you know, your town. And she would name a predominantly black town that was known for poverty and people thought crime. And the thing was I found myself in this ridiculous position of getting pissed off that she kept getting my town wrong, especially once one day I got really upset and she smiled when I corrected her. She'd known all along, but it was her way of putting me in my place. And so this gets tied up with white supremacy and racism towards us, as well as what we do to each other.